if you're telling me that it costs as much as a regular house, look at your quote regular house and then look at the benefits and value and long-term value of the barndominium by comparison. I think it's more of an education of the way that we build is so superior for long-term lasting value and the ability to be so modular for renovation that it changes the game a little bit.
It always goes back to the same thing. We're not D.R. Horton.
No.
We don't build tract homes.
No.
But we have pretty close to tract home pricing.
Yes.
And we allow you to fully custom rip a set of plans within reason. And then inside that, we allow you to put some pretty custom options inside your house.
Yes.
So let's always compare apples to apples. We are $100 a square less than a custom builder. They ain't no, I don't care who you are, what area you're in. You're not going to find a custom builder that's at 175, 185 or less at our pricing.
I agree.
You're not going to do it.
Yep.
And then that's just a situation where it's a moot argument that it's not even worth our time to even argue that.
I agree.
Now, I agree with you. I think the future is multifamily on a single plane where it's full-on family compound because I don't think the generations today can afford housing.
Yeah.
They can't do it. And we will figure that out.
Yeah. That's the goal. So look, here's the thing. We don't claim to be the smartest, but we do claim to be the craziest to try to implement it. Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you've had it pent up inside of you, and you want to provide the details, I don't care. Rant right there in the comments, right? You can rant at us.
I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah. You can holler at us, or you can provide some valuable, critical feedback that you think is a great idea to implement, something that adds value to you. Hey, no guarantee that we're going to agree with you.
But we want to hear it.
But we do want to hear it because every piece of feedback that flows into this business at some point goes across our desk, goes through our minds, and we have a conversation around it, right? No, good, bad, or indifferent.
Your idea may change the face of this company depending on what we serve.
Yep, 100%.
So, drop it.
So that's one thing. The ongoing, affordability thing, there's a lot of things that are happening there. There's we were talking about this in a board meeting the other day of the generation kind of Gen Z is almost like was abandoned from the housing perspective because you had the crash in 2008 and then houses became so cheap and you could buy them for half of what it cost to build them. And so what ended up happening? These BFRs popped up everywhere and BlackRock and all the big guys came in and they bought out tens of thousands of homes and they rented them. And, then you couldn't replace it. And so what did they do? They started the BFR at that point where it was build for rent. And they came in and created their own development and construction companies, and they go in and they build a subdivision that they own and they rent them. And then by doing that, it shorts the market for affordability and rises costs and raises the cost of land. You got all these people competing. And I'd say at this point in time, depending on where you live, but it's specifically where we build, your cost of land is where the affordability issue is more so than the cost to build because we have done a lot of work to reduce the costs to build and maintain it. We could charge astronomically more money than we do. But we have value engineered to be able to build something that will withstand the test of time, that is absolutely built better than what the standard option is. But cost of land, there's so much competition for land. And so until we figure out a way to combat that and figure these things out, and it might, who knows? There may be Barndo communities in the future. There may be, a plethora of different things. So we have no shortage of ideas, but the goal is to continuously optimize and drive forward a product. And look, if the rates increase or they change the way mortgages are driven or whatever they do to make the monthly affordability better. They're not making long-term affordability better, but they're trying to make the monthly affordability better. The portable mortgage. I seen that yesterday on X.
Yeah.
That they're trying to, make the portable mortgage a thing. You know what that would do for this country? Every single person that bought a house in 2020 with a 2.7 or they refinanced into a 2.7, 2.5 sub 3% mortgage, they could sell their home and go buy a new home and transfer that mortgage with those terms and that credit and that interest rate to the new purchase. If that happened, that solves a lot of problems for a lot of people, but it still leaves about 70% of the population in the dark with unforeseeable costs to go and leverage money. But that would create an uptick in an insurgence. So there's a bunch of people trying to solve that problem. Our objective is, how do we continue to maintain a baseline of being affordable, but constantly improving the living conditions and constantly looking ahead? If you've built with us and you moved in and you said, man, I wish I would have thought of that prior. If you're planning to build and there's some things that you're looking for and you're like, it might make sense for you to do it after the build, right? Some of those things, like your lender won't even let you include in a mortgage because you got to fight appraisals. There's all kinds of things. So sometimes it is in your benefit to do it post-construction. But if you could integrate it into the construction so that any point in the future, whether it was the day after you received CO move in, right, and made your final payment. But
Yes.
if it was that day, or if it was 10 years in the future, but it was already waiting to just be plugged and
That's
played.
the biggest thing, is as long as you can give me the list of what you anticipate putting in the future, your life will be 1,000% easier.
Yes.